You guys are doing amazing. Good afternoon, good morning to everyone who's here for the first time, but of course to all our amazing listeners, you know who I am. If you're listening behind the radio, that is on the radio station, you know who this is. JOBY, of course, on the mic.
Okay.
No, usually this is actually, I think, I don't know how many my second interview. I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really rare to pop on shows that are not really mine, or that I'm not literally like supposed to be conversating. But thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and thank you for accepting to be here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I feel like you're well knowledgeable in regards to this topic about who we are as Africans, and I feel like a lot of young people don't really know about who they are.
True.
And I feel like that's the search in regards to even a lot of things that we see nowadays as young people. It's like people are trying to find out who they are.
Yeah.
And if you know who you are, you basically understand your purpose and basically how you're supposed to show up in regards to everything. And that's why I feel like before even talking about redefining Africa, we should talk about redefining Africans, individuals.
Yeah.
When you basically start from the root, that's when everything, the light and the bulbs will really pop out.
True.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something which nobody talks about, or people talk about, but it's not really showcased because there's a lot of other non-destructive things.
And fear.
Yeah, and
fear.
Yeah,
I feel like
so
I want to relate to the video that has been going viral.
Yeah.
There's this lady who took something that I've never seen, and something that I wished, personally, I'd say right now I don't really board matatus that much. So I'd say when I used to board matatus so much.
Right.
I used to see pastors. I think you've seen pastors. Freedom to express yourself, freedom to speech. That is basically, especially when it comes to religion, because pastors can hop on any bus. People are going to work, they're just all silent. Everyone has their own stress. Someone is thinking about what, but there's just always that pastor, always there. So there's this lady who took to the stand, and she actually brought this matter up, and she said, why is it that pastors always have to be the destructive ones, in the buses? Nobody wants to listen to preaching when you're going to work. If you want to go to church, I'm going to go to Sunday. I know the day to go to church, and I know where the Bible is at. If I want to read the Bible, I will read. If I want to pray, I know the time I'm going to pray. But why is it that actually when it comes to pastors, they have to walk freely on the matatu, distracting people, not actually considering even if other religions are there? And it's always the Christians. She was very specific. I love the way she said it. It's always the Christians you'll see doing this. You'll never see Muslims taking their Qurans to preach on the matatus. It is crazy. And she also mentioned of why is it that people for the longest time we see and have normalized this, and we're so disturbed about this because not everyone is comfortable listening to a preacher in the matatu, but nobody has talked about it. She questioned, what are we afraid of? And if you try to look at that, it literally engages everything else, and questions everything else. What is it that people are so scared to talk about? You know the truth, but you're so scared to talk about. Why?
Maybe in regards, I think I saw that video, and when the time she was basically talking about, actually nobody was really supporting her, because I feel like when the ministers really pop in these verses, I've been in that situation. I see them asking for permission. From the ones I've seen, they ask for permission from the taxi driver if they can preach in the bus.
Okay.
Let's
say we have respectful ones, and we just have the ones who can hop in anyhow. And matatus that do not have actually standards. That's what I'm gonna say.
We don't have standards.
That's what we spoke about matatu.
It's all about
standards, you should have a standard. If you are actually a matatu that is taking people to the office, these are people who are, nobody wants to listen to you preaching. Put some, maybe even classic 105 is some literally, put some manable, put on even Black Hot Fire, jam onto the music. Nobody wants to listen to. I've already prayed when I walked out of the house.
But guys were literally giving her it's so
it was a silent treatment.
Even in the comments, everybody was against her. Just play Candy Crush, put on ear headphones.
Well, majority.
And I believe it's because, as Kenya, it's basically nationwide, it's a Christian country.
Africa, you're not allowed to question religion. How dare you? Especially you're questioning a pastor. Why? I think that's why no one was actually even understanding what she said. No, majority of the people didn't understand why she raised this as a question. But if you actually try look at, if you're a woke person and you try look at this deeply and in a mature way, not in a religious way, not in a indoctrinated mindset type of way, you understand she's actually making a whole lot of sense. And actually, personally, I've had that disturbed.
Okay.
I remember when I used to tout, I used to use matatu from Thika Road coming to work all the way to Ngong Road.
Yeah.
We used to have that pastor like every morning. So for me, the best thing, earphones.
Okay.
I'm gonna put on earphones, and they're gonna be loud.
Yeah.
Like I'm not listening to none of what you're saying. I don't wanna hear a goddamn word.
Right.
I wanna listen to nothing. Like I'm all good until it's shuke.
Right.
You know, unless maybe I'm asking a conductor like what if I'm paying with M-Pesa.
Yeah.
Fine. And I feel like it's something that should have been questioned from a long time, but it's again generalizes everything. So many people are so scared to question education, religion,
which is okay to really
politics.
question. It's okay because you're trying to understand.
But that's not
learn.
how we're raised.
Yeah, that is so true, but you look really pretty.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, you're hard. You know,
look like a doll.
My husband, where are you?
He's coming.
Yeah.
It's a month of
I'm waiting for you, babe.
And seeing everything you've been trying to manage and capture first.
God
June
damn.
is gonna be so.
I'm about to get into my soft girl era. You guys are not ready. I don't know. I just feel like something. I don't know. When I'm in this feeling, something great always just is about to happen.
Right?
I'm just in a very positive.
The other day you're telling me that actually I learned something about that. Until you're very patient because you know if something is taking a long time to basically come to you,
it comes double. Yeah, it comes in double. I think that's what has happened in my life for the longest time. Like I've been so patient with a lot.
Yeah.
Building my life, getting jobs, literally, and everything that I've been patient all about, despite the hardships, it has come exactly or even maybe doubled what I expected. And I'm so grateful to the Creator and the universe for always just looking out for me, Manzi.
It's gonna get better.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just getting in my soft girl era.
It is that time. June is gonna be so softer.
This is something that is inside me that I can't explain how I'm feeling lately, and I just love it. You know, soft girl era. You know, flowers, chocolate,
cocktails,
like
candies,
everything good.
Everything good for this month. But thank you so much for that tip in regards to what you talked about. Like there's so much fear in regards to speak out. That is so true. And even the time I was really researching, and there's this lady, Dr. Arikana, who was basically kicked out of the AU organization for basically pointing out the truth, and it's basically the fact that you're speaking the truth. They don't want to hear that, and the influence that she had. They were like, maybe this lady is gonna open up a lot of people in regards to who they are, what they have, and everything about what they're hiding from us. And honestly, this was very heartbreaking. Literally, I couldn't even help it. It was so heartbreaking for me. Researching about how Africa was before colonization and how we've been taught, or basically everything I know right now before I even learned about it is like, oh my god, it's like in the dark. I literally cried and I literally called my mentor. I was like, I don't know if I can handle everything I'm about to learn every time, because the way Africans have been perceived is like we are the ones needing help from the Western world. We're the ones who need help, but our failure is their success, because everything they're doing or what they are right now is because of us. Africa. Exactly. Literally, that was really heartbreaking for me, honestly. And I was like, here in our street, and when you come to realize actually how we've been fooled, lied to, it's so hurting. Number one, it really breaks your heart, you know. Continuously falling the lies. Like it's so heartbreaking. Actually, for me, I think I've shed tears a couple of times in most of my shows. Najipata tu niko emotional. You're reporting something, it just triggers you. You're like, goddamn, there's no way someone is going through this. And I am positive again, because if I try to look at 3 years back from when I started and now, it's not the same. Like when I started, and then I think within few months captured everything, like started connecting the dots. People like, hey, so many people are damn asleep, because at that time I'd already started following people like Sweet Nyakano, shout out to her. So many people literally talking the truth about Africa. So ukiangalia so wengi venye wana relate na hizi ukweli uko like what, and it's true. Africa was so indoctrinated. But 3 years so positive about it, and I believe we're gonna conquer. Hopefully, and it's happening. I feel like it's just gonna happen naturally. Like, the unicorn is just gonna let Africans are waking up, and actually by learning the truth. Cause one thing I always say, and why I get so much rage sometimes reporting some things,
is because, again, when you look at the lies, the continuous lies, you're supposed to be actually angry.
It's so true.
You're supposed to, you have a right to demonstrate, you have a right to declare a war, because all along people have been declaring a war against you.
That is so true.
Not you knowing.
And you don't understand why.
Exactly, of thinking Africa is just, we're just supposed to have problems.
Yes.
And I'm looking at, I'm looking at this religious wise, like,
that's
and
okay.
I've said this before, like, when I was still into the religion, like, I used to look at things, especially like the poor people. Because the first time I went to the slums, personally, I was so heartbroken. I'm not gonna say I grew up like most privileged life, but I grew up a really good life. I was not like, I didn't suffer that much as much as I suffered. The first time I went to the slums, I was so hard, so hard. People are living in sacks. These sacks. It is in Kawangware, kwa Moscow, kwa watu wanaishi kwa magunia, cottons. And before you get to those places or to the houses, sewages, I was so hurt. And then I tried to look at where we were staying. I was like, man, we're blessed. And I'm never gonna take anything for granted in life. Personally, I'm saying in general that when you try to look at all these lies you've been given, the lifestyle, you're supposed to be actually very, very angry and demand. It is your right for you to demand change. It's so especially after discovering that it's your right to demand change. Enough of Africans being told you can't. You can.
You've been able since the time, the origin of time. You've been able, literally, because it's so amazing, like realizing that we were already civilized. We already had we were already like smart. We had everything. For me, it's like the time, or what they say about the Europeans brought civilization to Africa. It's like we were the Dermis,
and that's why that's what I'm saying. If you look at it religious wise, I used to view, the first time I went again to the slums, I was like, now maybe there's some people are just cast, who just maybe are meant to be poor, you know, because I don't even use the is this the same term, but meant to be poor sounds more lenient. It's like I had that mentality of like, they are the rich, they are the middle class, they are poor, and this is just God's doing, you know. The people are more blessed, the people you can't realize this. I've studied about the art and crafts we've had stolen from Africa.
That blew my mind.
It blew your mind.
It blew my mind, because basically that is your culture being stolen away.
Exactly.
Your identity being stolen away.
Exactly.
Your kind of like religion, understanding who you are, and the British Museum is refusing to give it back.
So apparently, I think it was Keith telling you that, and I remember you mentioned something which I also didn't know, because I've always questioned why is it that Africa has never demanded back its art and crafts, you know? But if you try to look at actually Africa, as much as we do have puppet leaders, we've kinda, you know, we've kind of consistently asked for our art and crafts back. We've consistently pushed for this agenda, pushed for our resources and everything that was stolen away from Africa to be returned back. But apparently the white people understood why and understand why till to date, why they can't return this back. And shout out to Keith for this knowledge, because I didn't know this. That is actually something very, very deep. The art and crafts were not just, you couldn't just come up with the art and crafts from out of just nowhere.
That is so true.
This is not knowledge we taught even in school.
That is true.
For you to come up with the art and craft, number one, it's a message from the universe. That's how our ancestors used to work. It's either a message from the universe, and also if you go back to actually some South Africans actually still practice this, even with the herbal medication. They won't just actually give you herbal medications without getting clear message. This is what you're supposed to use, and them not being really connected and intuited to the nature. So art and crafts do come from nature. So it is all about, I think, us who are so connected and there to be spiritually connected to come up with different types of healing art and crafts. Some was for messages, some were for music, like they had different purposes, and the ones we had just for, you know, but they really had deep meaning. But I'd really love to learn more on the ones they really held specifically, and what it meant for Africans, and what white people understood or understand from this, because that is so interesting. That is something I find very interesting, why they still refuse to give us our art and crafts back.
Really. And they said that, this is what I heard, that it belongs to that part of the world because they were always supposed to say it. And this Nigerian, I think he's a teacher or philosopher, saying that he had to travel all the way to Britain, basically just see all these artifacts. And the fact that a lot of Nigerians are saying they will never have that chance because there's an issue with visas, and the fact that he will just travel like few minutes if it was in Africa or somewhere to come and check this out, which is so saddening, because everything you've said is what he said. Is like he doesn't understand why they're saying that they can just borrow us these artifacts. What do you mean borrow us?
No, we're supposed. It's us. We're supposed to borrow them.
Thank you.
We're supposed to borrow them.
You see, how does that make sense?
No, what they said, I think you said the opposite. What he meant is that the Europeans meant we are supposed to borrow them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, which doesn't make sense because it belongs to us. You know, and the fact that they're holding that so deeply, and I feel like people are really talking about it. Obviously, they're talking about it, but it's a hidden. That it really holds a lot about our identity. Let me say that's one thing which is really empowering to me. Our identity, who we are, who we were, and the fact that all other nations or continents, they were so astonished in regards to how Africa was. It's the jealousy of power. Like Africa was like the most powerful continent ever. It still is in regards to even whatever infrastructures are not civilized right now. We are not are. But I believe that it was just the war for power, because the country or the continent that has the most wealth is powerful, which you can see right now.
Yeah, and if you talk about power, we go back to kingdoms.
Yes, systems.
Talk about kings and queens. We had women who are ruling kingdoms.
It's so true.
You know, and it's crazy when you look at today women in the society. Yeah. When you are actually a leader, we have the male dominance trying to fight you. Yeah. When you are actually a leader, you're going to be criticized, or you're seen less of a capable person. And actually, if you try to look at the society today, most of the women, and even shout out to kids, really beautiful. The kingdoms we had, the kind of leadership and ruling we had in our kingdoms, it's not what we have today. If you try to look at the kingdoms and now today, which is politics, because I think they turned kingdomship into now politics, if I'm not wrong, which is all about ruthlessness. If you try to look at our kingdom leadership, it was all about not only sharing, not only living as a one large community, you know,
so true.
There was no anything about boundaries, division, this is my territory. People are living all together, celebrating cultures, kindness, love. It's just nothing but just purity.
It's so true.
That generalizes everything. Purity, But if you try to look at politics, which they did turn it into their own terms, and them wanting now to take power out of Africans, it includes cells, jailing people, beating people.
So true.
It's crazy, but again, if you try to look at it, because we still have it as Africans, trust me, because personally, if I still carry this knowledge, because I feel like some part of my life I was just a warrior, you know. I don't know if it's me and my Dolulu, but me get flashes of so many things, and which I'll never, if I try to explain to someone, I'll sound crazy.
Which you're not.
Exactly. But I do get flashes of so many things, and I'm like, how do I have this information in my head? Like, this is just so crazy. How do I have this information loading and downloading in my head right now? And it's always Africa related. So we're gonna conquer. If you look at the history, it's not actually, it's not dead. It's there. All we need is just to claim the lands back. That's all they have. They have none of our resources. The ones they managed to steal, it's fine. They can pay back, and they are going to pay back.
And also we
still have plenty.
That's what the land was saying yesterday. I was telling him, he's like, but still, because we're the ones who made these artifacts from the start, or from the get-go, we can still create more. I was like, yes, but you know, the ones before time or in time, at that time, was like a very big deal because
exactly.
it holds a lot.
And that, but majority of our people do not know even bits of what we know,
even
a bit of what is happening in the world, even connecting the dots. For me, at least, I could connect the dots even before joining the Blackout Fire. That the Huduma number was a trap.
I was questioning
I didn't take Huduma number. So many people lined up for Huduma number. You know, when we had the COVID 19, I think that's when I was joining Blackout Fire, and the VSCCIN had already started spreading. So I didn't take the VSCCIN. So personally, I've always been very, very alerted. But I feel like most of our African people do not really have that consciousness of questioning and, you know, first, you know, what is this? You know,
it's so true.
People just go with the majority and the number, and they just go with the wind, and which is so wrong. So if you talk about, or the person you're trying to mention, when they talk about us getting back our art and crafts fast, I think it makes a whole lot of sense for us to be able to connect back to history.
That's the main thing.
It's for us to be able to connect back to what our ancestors, why they came up with this artifacts, you know, what was the idea behind this? How did they get to be so in tuned with or connected to the universe? It has to be learned. It just can't happen in a day. So we have to go back to our ancestral ways of living. Number one, trace back history.
That's it.
And this is what you see today. Still, even the white people, that is what you are actually to share. The white people are still trying to figure out the Egypt pyramids, you know, because no one can actually figure out that kind of civilization where it came
and they
from.
Found it here,
exactly.
So all these lies about,
we have to go back all the way back. For us to connect to today, who we are as Africans, we have to go back to what we're denying, and which is history.
And basically, the education system is, oh my gosh, like I'm seeing myself back in school learning these things very happily, you know, and I'm the smartest person.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But somehow, if maybe some Africans have come up with a consciousness of look at geography we've been told, and if you look at how they are destroying nature today, because they are literally destroying nature today. That is not African science. That is not the African way of living. Bio. That is biology. Yes. Most of the things we also taught, most of them are not true. You know, the most important things I think we learned is our body changes. You know,
that is true.
I think the most important thing we learned. Body changes, this and this and this, and what to escape.
It's so
but
true.
if you try look at what we were supposed to be taught, what really happened, how did you get here? You know, we like
we were. And
know?
Why don't teach us? They don't teach us about how civilized Africa was before colonization, but they teach us everything after colonization.
Let me tell you, every single day when I'm learning about history of Africa, I always feel like going back to now the books of our school. I'm at the books of our history that we've been taught now in our school. I'd love to do so much reference. Oh my God, so much reference. If I can get a book, I think I'm gonna do this with my brother probably. Because I think I'm gonna do that with my brother. Like every book, including history, biology, we relate to the true African science. And what we are really taught. I say it's a lot of messed up shit there. Like a whole lot of messed up shit. It's just so crazy, and you're gonna laugh. You're gonna personally end up laughing when I look at some things you were taught and you look at the facts. It's just crazy.
So true. But the thing is, like, which is happening right now, they're still being taught about this. Which I was thinking that I would never in my future life want my kids to learn about this. Ever.
What do you want to do to your kid?
What are they learning?
What type of okay, let me ask you, what system of education are you gonna give your child in what on? Like, are they gonna be in Kenya? Are they gonna go to Britain? Are they gonna homeschool? And if it's homeschooling, who is that gonna be teaching this knowledge?
And what are they gonna be taught?
Exactly. Who is that teacher? Because if you talk about our teachers, it's the same people we know. You
need to be qualified to be or to have gone to school. You have to go through
you need Dr. Arikana's followers. you need Dr. Arikana, Professor Lumumba.
I think she should be a good teacher to my kids.
She should. You're gonna pay a whole lot of money.
Because that's the truth. Just all lies. The fact that I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, I went to school to learn all that, which is all lies. It's very heartbreaking, honestly.
It is crazy.
You know, who discovered what? What do you mean you discovered what lake? It was here in Africa.
It was here.
No,
Imagine.
you did not discover anything.
The funny thing is that, you know, it's crazy the white people.
Yeah.
So if you try look at, I'd really love to understand Africa. If you try, I believe it was all plain.
Yeah.
Not what we have today.
The way they're teaching us?
No. Africa way before.
Okay.
Before they came.
Okay.
It was a plain land.
Right.
Okay, with of course civilization.
Of course.
Civilized people.
Schools.
A lot.
Yes.
But plain, when I talk about plain, is that there's no borders.
Okay.
There was no labels.
Yes.
This is road, Kenyatta. This is mountain.
That is so true.
There was no labels.
Yeah.
Again, we used to share.
Yeah.
We had plenty, enough to share.
More than enough, unlimited resources.
We knew to share, and oh my God, we had leadership, true leadership to guide us even in this sharing and everything that was really, really happening.
Yeah.
But if you look at white people again, this is what I'm telling you. I still, when I look at when I try to figure out how the white man has managed to put down the black person historically, everything wise, like it's mind blowing. Like it's the how do you have this mentality? Don't you find it fascinating? Personally, I find it fascinating every single day. How do you have this mentality? How brilliant planning things 100 years before even they happen.
Right.
But white people came to Africa, and because they wanted to take power forcefully from Africans, which includes the kingdom, the wealth, and everything. They took it forcefully by now even labeling. Yeah. If I'm understanding correctly. Yeah. They went labeling to mark territories. Yeah. Because I feel like that is how they marked territories. Labeling.
That is true.
Places. Yeah. Like Victoria. Who is Victoria?
Thank you.
Who is that?
And it's too
that is not an African name.
At all. At all.
Like so many things. If you try to look at them, they came to dominate people, and until Africans actually came to understand, they came to dominate Africans, and they claimed they left. That is the lie they told us.
They're still here.
They left, and sorry, not sorry. African leaders are helping them. You know, they're still here, very active, practicing their ways. Still, actually, very active, very active. We were talking yesterday on the culture show of how these people are practicing so many ways of genociding Africans. It's so many crazy ways. Food, medication.
Lady Victoria was the queen of England when they was coming to rob and kill it. They named it her. Victoria was the name of the queen at the time.
Okay. Shout out to her. But it's crazy because that's what we're talking about. Like this, this why people came labeling places, you know, and that shows their ways of dominating Africans.
That is so true.
This was, I know this was just an African lake, but now I'm gonna call it Lake Victoria. You know, that is you marking a territory.
Of course.
But none of these African leaders, even all of them, are not educated. Shout out to kids for telling me that these people actually they do study outside. Yeah, they have nothing education. They have just been they're just taught to actually just come and dictate to African people, act like they have power, and of course be puppets like the way they are. But I believe they have zero education. Kagame and Museveni are examples.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Kagame. I love Museveni. Sorry, I love Museveni. Yeah.
Even the way of writings in regards to how we used to write was stolen from us. That is also heartbreaking. Yeah. And I feel like even Swahili, the way it's interpreted from English, which English is not really our language, literally. But the way we speak in Swahili is basically interpreted from English.
Wait, what? English?
The Swahili
is interpreted from English.
If I say something in Swahili, can you interpret it in English?
Before you say something in Swahili, can I interpret it in English?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, you can.
Before you say something in Swahili.
If I speak in Swahili right now, how are you going to interpret it?
In English?
Yeah.
That's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But before we knew English, we had our own.
Yes, Swahili.
Yes,
I get you.
Yeah. But that is also very sad because our writing, the way of writings, are basically stolen from us, which should be brought back. But now it's too late because we've learned everything in regards to learning new ways of writing.
Man, let me tell you, me again, oh my God, the universe, I know you're listening, and they say words have power, and believe in that.
That is true.
Believe in that, words have power. I'm gonna be here to watch Africa rise. Oh my God, that's gonna be so good. I wanna see the rage.
I don't think it's gonna be too.
I wanna see the rage. Oh my God, I wanna see
it will
the
not take a long
anger.
time. Very soon.
I want to see the anger, nothing else actually. Okay, because once you have the anger, that's it, power declared. And that's what Burkina Faso Niger Mali have done. Once you have the anger, nothing is gonna stop you. Okay, have you ever seen a mad person?
Yeah, I have.
Mad, like super mad. They are unstoppable, especially when going to war. It's like, okay, I remember there's a time I was coming to work then. I found one of these the welders, they were fighting, and people were just there looking at them. Serious? And they are recording to post on TikTok. So I'm like, God damn, this is unstoppable for real. And that's why I understand why people are literally pulling aside. That's the type of rage you need, you know. Someone is has so much rage to the point where they can. That is what you need, because if you have this rage of having Raila fueling on you, Raila telling you, oh, you know, you guys, you know, unga ya ugali imepanda. Sasa tomorrow we need to go have a demonstration. That is some perpetual talk, literally trying to gaslight you. You know, you don't have rage. You're being gaslighted. There's a difference, you know. You're being gaslighted to go actually cause chaos, and you're not gonna be helped. This is just for their own benefit. But when you have rage, you take yourselves outside there without anyone calling you.
That is so true.
That's it. That's it.
And I feel like maybe, as you're saying, like time is up, which is up, and you're gonna basically testify to this with time. And I think it's gonna take a long time because it's actually so depressing, and you're like, oh my God, I've been sitting here the whole time thinking like I'm this and this, but I'm not. Sorry. You know,
well, it's gonna take time. Being honest, cleaning Africa, and I was even admitting this, I think, on Monday, on Wednesday on the Africa Today show. Cleaning Africa is gonna take a lot of time. It's a whole lot of mess. I always love giving an example. Oh my God, with our very dear own brothers, Congo, DRC Congo. If you look at that country, especially the mining sites, the way they have been damaged, like these people have damaged the land to just get the gold, get the cobalt, the diamonds, ruthlessly destroying the land. It's gonna take time for that country to go back to literally back to the normal civilization.
I have some hope. It might happen.
I do have hope too. But again, it's not hopeful right now because people, the people, how do I say, people are really well educated enough in Congo. The problem is we have the troops who are willing to kill people. We don't have guns. We don't have strong militaries to fight this. But I believe, I don't know, either DRC, one of the three, Congo, the Central Republic, or the DRC. But we need strong militaries, number one. That's what I believe. For Congo to actually first number one conquer, it's not gonna. We don't need no Kenyan troops. Sorry, Kenya is not gonna help you. Kenya is there to help US because the current set president is a criminal. We know that. You know. Which other troops? All the East African troops are not gonna help you. West African troops, from Nigeria, from where, they're not going to help you. Even the Sudan, the South Africa troops, I've not seen any report about them. We had South African troops who were sent to DRC, to Congo to help. No reports about them. So it's crazy. That Africa is gonna take a lot of time before we actually but it's going to happen eventually. That's just the end goal. It's going to happen whether they like it or not.
I was almost saying the same thing.
It's gonna happen.
You know, so that's a long time, and that's a lot of people are tapping into the truth. It's so true. Because also looking back into this, or looking the way things have been, there's been a lot of distraction. Also, social media has been a distraction in regards to a lot of things are happening, but the main thing, even the people in public position cannot talk about these things. I don't know. But we have let me tell you this people, when we have them saying humanity, somehow humanity
they're not humans, but they're gonna destroy themselves.
That is true.
Humanity, they say humanity will destroy itself.
Yeah.
But at this point is where white people are destroying themselves because they're not humans.
Right.
Okay, they've been trying to destroy the real humanity.
Exactly, Joby.
Yeah.
If some of humanity is going to destroy themselves, after they never destroy themselves, the them are not human. That's why they're so animalistic, so vicious. Africans never had to go steal each other's shit. They were and kill and rape and take everything. Africans share. The funny part about it, if the European would have came and said, "We share all your wealth with us," the African would have said, "Yeah, we'll share with you." The European didn't want that mess. Steal every goddamn thing. Fuck these niggas. Take everything. Kill them. Mess their minds up. African would say, "Okay, we'll happily share with you." But that's not their mindset. They're animalistic. You see how animals are in nature. They take, they kill. That's what you're dealing with.
Exactly. So when they say humanity is going to destroy itself, they're talking about themselves and they are not humans. Because everything they do is against nature. Everything they do is against nature. And that's why I'm telling you why actually, as they quote themselves, it's happening. Because look at, do you know the AI is a weapon against humanity, but it's also a weapon against them. Number one example, just a few months ago, we saw the AI literally telling us that it was telling us about was it Jesus? Was it Jesus kid, or who was it historically that it was black? There was something that the AI generated that they wanted it to quote.
The AI was telling you Jesus existed, he would have been black.
Yeah.
They got white people like, oh, because that's history. There were no white people in Northeast Africa at that time. That was all African land. And so the white people said, oh, AI is racist. You're white people.
Something you created. How is it being racist? Make a whole lot of sense. Like, you created this goddamn technology or whatever you want to call it. So how is it literally turning against you when it's supposed to be favoring you?
So true.
You know? Because it's supposed to go against humanity literally. But it's now going against you, the creator. And it's going to happen a whole lot of...
because they were going to AI to tell lies that they've been telling. AI just brought out their nature and say, hey, if this Jesus existed and these Jews, they have to be black. This is all Africa back then before they got invaded. So it'd be black people, which they would be. And I go, oh, shut it down, man. They shut that shit down too. Shut it down.
So now you've seen the viral. I think if you're on Instagram, you've seen the viral going on. AI made up Niniza. All eyes on Haiti, all eyes on Congo, all eyes on Sudan, all eyes on DRC, all eyes on Palestine. You've seen that going viral? No. You have seen that, people reposting on Instagram. I'm sure you've come along.
Free something?
Yeah, free Congo, whatever. But there's some AI generated images going viral. And they're going viral for it. Because if it was someone who tweeted this, they will take down the post. But the AI is making this go viral. Make that. You know, for the longest time they've been pushing all the agenda of Palestine or whatever. But right now the AI is now pushing all eyes on Haiti, all eyes on, like, people are literally using the AI to, how do I say? It's just gonna go against them. If you understand what I'm trying to say, it's gonna go against them because they have been now censoring and monetizing people's information, like, trying to check people's information, checking people's account, taking down video. That is what Black Hot Fire have been going through. But I feel like with the AI, because my voice actually is behind the doors. It's the AI talking. You don't know if this is me. You don't know if this is Kid. The AI tells you, and these are goddamn liars. I just love the way the AI talks. It's the voice is crazy. Like, I can literally tell the truth right now behind an AI voice. And the video can go viral within seconds. That can be on TikTok, which is also what they're trying to restrict very much. But whatever they have created, which is including, look at cell phones. They thought cell phones are gonna make African dumb, probably, you know, the smartphones. You know, people are just gonna be TikToking, Facebooking. But now smartphones have become something different.
So
you know,
true.
Smartphones are being used for business to create employment. Smartphones are now connecting people worldwide. Africans to the diasporans. You know, the internet. They thought the internet is gonna make Africans probably dumber. The internet is now being used to do research, not for just dancing and posting.
I know.
So
more, like,
everything is going against them, and I'm happy to see it. You know, so many years of success in, you know, being successful in lives.
I know.
You deserve to.
That was a lot of years.
You're down. You're down.
Like you basically have a generation after generation learning the lies.
Imagine.
That is not.
Imagine.
Right. That's not humanistic, if there's a word like that.
That's animalistic. Yeah.
It's just crazy because you're learning lies.
That's
and then
a shock that preys
it basically
on you.
Grows into. That's what you learn since you're a kid, and know, okay, that's the truth about who I am. That's the truth about where I'm coming from, which is not the truth. Honestly,
literally.
Yeah, and I can say, Jiva, thank you so much for joining us. He's saying, personally, I say let them keep the artifacts. Don't give or trade with Mzungus any more resources or talent from the continent: gold, titanium, oil, cobalt, people, etc. Stop begging the white man to return something they want.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's a high time we stop begging. The fact that this really holds spiritual, strong spiritual beliefs, not belief but spiritual. What's the term I'm supposed to use? But the fact that you just have the spirituality in it, you understand what I'm trying to connected to the ancestors. You're supposed to get it back. Okay. For me, I'm gonna use an example of. Oh my God! Don't mess with anyone I love. Okay. Oh my God! Don't. Anyone I'm rooting for 100%. Don't mess with Keith. Don't mess with anyone. Anyone I'm rooting for. Oh my God! It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Personally, I'm gonna use a very good example of the people I love, and I'm using my mom for example, my late mom. If today I discover this any wealth she left behind, and I had no clue about this, and someone secretly kept this away from me, I have the right to about this.
Go to school and learn about that. It's a lie.
I will not take them to my kids. Either I'm not gonna have any in this era. Either I'm not gonna have any in this era. Trust me. Or if I'm gonna have kids, the government will not know about them.
Why would you say that?
I'll give birth at home. Probably bribe a doctor before we get to make changes. Get a birth certificate. If there was a way not to be linked into the system, that would just be awesome. Because the problem is when you linked into this system, that's it. These people are following up your life.
That's true.
You know? I was asking myself today in the morning when I was getting ready, what if every individual in this earth has an individual watching them?
Oh my gosh.
Like, have you ever guys thought about
it? Assigned.
Like, they are assigned to watch you. This is your job. On this machine, you have to track every movement and record.
OMG.
Have you guys ever thought about it? If not, the system, there's a way they are linked to us.
Obviously.
The systems, there's a way they're linked to us. And this is why I think, again, we need to question the POLIO. VACCINEs. What do they contain? Why is it the first injection you need as a baby? Apart from we understand all the side effects and everything. But hey, it's crazy. When you understand the world you're dealing with, it's just a lot you want to know.
Everything. Jiba is also saying, ask any woman that'd rather have a male boss, in regards to what you're saying about women in leadership. My wife had the worst time with female employees. The white man only respects and responds to force.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he says. And also, Joby, you're the dog hunter.
Thank you.
I think what he's saying about ask any woman that'd rather have a male boss, because women fight. I don't know why it's it like that. Like, women fight each other.
It depends again. You know, women naturally don't. I think I don't believe we don't get along with each other. Just that I don't believe we really don't get along with each other.
We do get along.
Yeah, that is a term made up that women don't get along, especially black women.
Especially
I believe that
black
is a
women.
term made up. It depends with I think the nature of a person, the nature of, like me, this is how you're gonna behave. Today maybe you're gonna wake up moody, you're in your menses, and I don't know if most men do understand that menses really do make you moody.
Yeah,
it's not that
do.
you want to be moody.
No,
they make you moody.
Yeah.
You know, I could also come to work, maybe I'm just having my own day, like maybe my hormones are just on another level, you know. And it's not that I don't want to talk to you, but I could sense some sort of maybe something about you, and I'm like, I don't like it. I think I told you, right? Maybe I don't like that.
But I kept asking, are you okay?
Yeah. And me, I'm gonna talk. Personally,
yeah.
I'm a very open person. If I
yeah.
see anything coming from a woman, any sort of attitude, I'm gonna mention it. Like, hey, you're giving me an off energy, and I don't like this. Okay, and I don't jump on things that I've not seen. I'm an adult, I can see. So maybe you don't see it as maybe this, but I see it. So probably try change this when you're around me. Okay, maybe you are okay with that, but please around me and pick it different. But I don't believe women don't get along. It's just that we do have different hormones and all that. Maybe you woke up, your boyfriend left you, you know, I don't want to talk to you. So come on, you know. I don't believe in that term that women don't get along. We do get along. Depends with the we cool. If we're not okay, we're not okay. And that's just also the nature of women. And we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna be okay. If you wanna pile up the attitude, that's on you. You know?
It's so true.
And
also
that's how I think for me it works. Like, if I'm gonna work things out, you wanna continue the same tone, then keep it up, baby. We go. You're gonna suffer at the end of the day. You're gonna suffer.
Diverse histories. So I want to actually send a short video in regards to what I found out. I know we know about this, but I feel like the listeners or anybody on TikTok can have just a small snippet of it and then basically talk about it.
Okay. You can share. Time is also running.
Yeah, time is running.
Yeah, you can share it on the stream.
Sure.
And cultures, centuries before Africa had the people of West Africa had rich and diverse histories and cultures, centuries before Europeans arrived. Africans had kingdoms and city-states, each with its own language and culture. The empire of Songhai and the kingdoms of Mali, Benin, and Congo were large and powerful, with monarchs heading complex political structures governing hundreds of thousands of people. In other areas, political systems were smaller, relying on agreement between people at the village level. Art, learning, and technology flourished, and Africans were especially skilled with medicine, mathematics, and astronomy. In addition to domestic goods, they made fine luxury items in bronze, ivory, gold, and terracotta for both local use and trade. West Africans had traded with Europeans through merchants in North Africa for centuries. The first traders to sail down the West African coast were the Portuguese in the 15th century. The Dutch, British, French, and Scandinavians followed. Traders kidnapped and bought Africans to be sold in Europe. However, it was not until the 17th century, when plantation owners derived, in large part, from the writings of the International Museum of Slavery. Thank you for listening. Remember?
Now that's what we learned in school. How they were taken. Anything behind it, we don't learn about it. I've never learned that in my life, ever. No one talks about it anywhere. Literally.
They don't want you to know the truth. And this is how it's crazy how they lied to us. They changed the history with them coming here. They came as missionaries, but didn't talk about taking our people with them.
Thank you.
You know, they just spoke about coming to Africa, helping Africans where
That's
we needed
what
help.
I know.
But we're not taught also in schools like, hey, our people were taken through Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean. That some had to kill themselves because they're like, nah, this is not gonna be a slave of anyone.
So
you know, I think like none of this is literally taught, and to understand it's not taught. Shout out to my stepmom. My stepmom told me she used to make jokes all the time, and actually a joke. You know, it's not a joke because I don't know if she believed it or she was just making a joke. You know, our people went with the ship. You know, I wish I went. They were going to Europe. I wish I went along with my grandfather. Why did they leave me here? I'm like. And then if you look at it today, you're like, do you really wish you really went through that?
Right.
It's not a joke as it sounds.
I know.
Our people went on a boat to Europe. They just chose to go.
It's so true.
You don't. Do you know the fact that they had to wear? They were put on chains. They were being beaten. Like, is that fact ringing a bell to you? And the understanding that, especially with the Africans in the continent, that will be so easy for us to connect with the diasporan people, the African diaspora people. What the pain they have gone through and the pain they go through every day, because the assumption from most Africans, and sadly I see it every single day with our very young people. It's all about, so long as you're in America, you have money. I can extort you how I want, you know. I can become an opportunist the way I want. Like, I just see nothing from you as a Black American, but just an opportunity. Like, how can I get money? How can I scam? How can I? And that is disconnecting us, not understanding the pain that they still go through. Because we don't see every day about Black people being gunned down every single time. All we see is that Black Americans actually are crackheads, you know.
That's what they showcase.
Thieves. Rappers who are
still
just
destroying us.
Exactly.
Even now.
Even through music, you know.
Thank you so
the
much.
image that is being shown about these people. So that's why we have the assumption of, oh, they have money to spend on this. Like, hey, you got guns, yo. You got, hey, yo, you popping, Like, what's up? You living the life, you know. So it is crazy. It's crazy. A lot needs to be changed.
It's so true.
But
it's gonna happen. Hopefully, maybe on the next show we'll talk about how a lot of African inventors are not mentioned.
So
invented a lot of things that we have right now, which is mind blowing. Like, what? African? I just know a lot of white people inventing things. You know,
how to build it. So many things in my
White people didn't invent nothing. They stole the inventions that you think they did from black people. All those inventions that you think came from white people came from black people. First car was an African built it. Headboat, African American. African. Trains, African American. All that shit. African people. They were still to put the name on it because they were the power. You know, you ain't give me this nigga saying we gonna make money off of it. So that's what they did. The telephone. It's about an African American. Not for no bill. The telephone. It's about African.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's a bunch of shit. I think
the refrigerator.
There's a time I learned all this, like all of it. Like I did a whole show about it. Like it's a whole lot of things invented by Black Americans. But Joe Mosquito is on YouTube on this other end. Says, Joby, I hope you're gonna be better. You're gonna be a better guest than Dimore, who was pissing everybody off when he was a guest. Shout out to Dimore. Ziba Jaba says that will enable a youth to have self-esteem in their own, and their worth isn't based on some outside force. Exactly. Jiba Jaba. John Mosquito says that they tried to get out around that, saying that it was olive oil. Goddamn. Right. And Jiba Jaba also says, thank you for saying that about us Black Americans. Of course, it takes one to understand what you know, like to understand everything, rather how you literally how the world is viewed and the reality. Because I believe we have two different sides of the coin, two sides of the story. Like there's how we view,
of course,
which is what we're meant to view, but there's the reality. And sadly, Africans, we've been made believe Black Americans, not only are they all about crime, but to believe they have money. That's why you include now Mzungu also there. So anyone who comes from America, you see them as an opportunist. You know, exactly. Once you hear the accent, you're like, God damn, this is the chance of me getting dollars.
Yes.
You know? Which you don't know, actually you're denying yourself chances of maybe an opportunity or something. So just by being humane, not being what the society wants you to be or what the white man wants you to be. Because this is all about the white man. Not about you.
It's so true.
This information that you've fed your head, and it's there because it's been fed. It's not what you wanna do. It's not what you wanna do. Trust me.
Right. It goes both ways. That's why we were bridging the gap. Black out power. I grew up. They told me Africa was 30, they had flies on their face. They were starving and backwards. I was like, hey, I don't want to go to Africa. I just went fucked up. Man, what? They always tell African Americans, hey, nigga, we're going to send you back to Africa. But be glad we took you as a slave. We can send you back there with all fucked up with the rest of those Africans. Like, damn, don't do it like that. That propaganda goes both ways.
That's true. but it's time for redefining Africa. It's just time.
It's
also.
happening.
And I was like, okay, I'm getting this information here, a lot of it. I had to sit myself down and like, you know what? First, I talk about redefining Africa. I'm like, let me first learn about myself. It's basically easier when you learn about who you are, and then you can talk about other things.
If you don't know who you are,
yeah,
it's dangerous. And that can be used as a weapon to actually destroy
it's
you.
so true.
So that's why most of the Africans, again, because our parents, our grandparents don't know who they are, and by passing the same information, we've grown up with the same and not so questioning a lot. But when you start understanding who you are actually and questioning, you'll find yourself saying no to so many things, including bullshit. You know.
It's so true.
Yeah, because for me, I've grown up. I'd say this. I've grown up being a rebel.
Okay.
You know, especially in things that don't. If I say this is just not okay with me, it's not okay with me. F what the society says. This is not okay with me, and I'm not happy, and I'm gonna go against it. You know. So like I'd give an example. Normally, like when you finish school for girls, you're expected to stay at home, right? Either you're gonna get married, most in African homes, right? You're supposed to wait for your husband.
That is true.
Someone who's gonna marry you. If not, majority of the women even get pregnant when they're still at their parents' home.
That happens a lot.
You know, because of being locked indoors, you're not being exposed to much. So when you get that little chance, you're gonna, you know, bust your pussy wide open because you're not getting these chances of just enjoying life. So personally, I said number one, no. From the time I finished school, I said I need a job. My dad said, no, I'm gonna put you in my job. I'm like, bro, I've been here for the past 6 years. You've been keeping me in this job of yours every holiday of my life. I never even enjoy my holidays when school are closed. So I'm done with school. I have my own ID. I think it's time I step out, also get my own money. Because the last time I checked, you told me I should not even ask you money for pads. So I'm not here to beg you again. And once you see me with a rich boyfriend, you start creating assumptions. So can I step out? He was like, no. I packed my sheets and I left. You know, before I left, I don't want to say I really left forcefully. He forcefully kicked me out. But I packed my things. I was like, yo, I want to leave. Help me get a job. If not, I'm just gonna stay with my uncle. But he started being abusive. Like, oh, you and your mother was your mother. I'm like, where is my mother coming from? You know. So you and your mindset of me wanting to be here and you not paying me, wanting me to be your slave after being your slave for so many years, I'm done. So I left. And look at me. You know, sometimes you have to make choices. Don't go with the norm. That is why we're lost as black people. We're going with the norm, which is westernization.
That is true.
We have lost culture.
We are not going back to basically understand and research who we are. Because what I've been told is what they want us to know about ourselves.
It starts with power. Say no. Okay? That's where I knew what power is about. Like, I have the right to say no.
That is so true.
You know, like the moment I understood, like, me having my ground, what it really means, it's still dope. Like, so I say this and that's what I stand on. If that hurt you, I'm so sorry. But that's me. Okay? I'm gonna be apologetic maybe, but I'm still not sorry because I'm still gonna stand to my ground either way.
That is so true.
Alrighty,
beautiful people. That has been Let's Pop with Irutan. Such an amazing, deep, informative, educated conversation with the lovely Hazi Joby. Let's Pop with Irutan. The topic was Civilized Africa before colonization. I feel like if you talk about this, we can really talk the whole time because you're also a very interesting.
Isn't that funny? Civilized Africa before the European. Africa was the only civilized place on the planet. The Africans civilized the rest of the world.
That is true.
And they came back and tell you how Africa civilized the world, not the other way around. You're the only people that's civil. Europeans are still not civil. He still steals, rob, and kill. All these civil people are Africans. Where you run around stealing people's shit? Where you run around causing wars? You're not.
To
have a civilization every time, you must be civil.
John Mosquito I see says, this is the most talkative guest I've ever seen. God damn. You mean I'm talking to, like, I've been active? I don't know even
he also
where.
Says, okay, Joby, you were a good guest. You can come back again. That is true.
Oh, thank you.
Really
I didn't know I can be a good
so
guest.
Much. Yeah, you're very. It's a conversation, you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people they wait for you to ask questions.
Yeah.
Which should be like a conversation.
Yeah.
Because it is a conversation.
Yeah. It is supposed to be a conversation, not a question,
not
a question or whatever. Yeah. But I get you.
Answer.
And also see. Thank you.
It wasn't like you did Christine's boyfriend yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, man, I'm not gonna say that. Thank you, Jiba Jabba, for the compliments.
Yeah, and thank you guys for joining us on all the social media.
So when is the boyfriend coming back to work for free? When is he coming back to intern? Next week?
I don't know. I have no idea. Next week. It should be next week.
Okay.
Alrighty guys, thank you so much for joining me on Let's Pop with Everton. Remember to join us later on Rhythm and School.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Hey, today I'm back to back. Today I'm back to back.
Already. So thank you so much.
From my show to your show, I'm the captain. Then later, oh my God,
I appreciate you.
I need my salary raised.
Thank you for being here, Toby. Really appreciate you and
thank you so much
being
for
the
having
voice
me.
of this generation. I feel like we need a lot of more Jobys.
You said
You and me
what?
both.
Huh?
Any last words before we end?
I said you and me both.
Okay, I didn't get that. But anyway, much love, family. I didn't hear what you say. Much love.
No, you said you need to get your salary raised. I said, and me both.
Him too. He needs to get his salary raised.
Oh, yeah. me and him. Oh, okay. It's coming, kid. It's coming. It's coming. You know, it's coming. It's coming.
I almost had to call you that word you don't like.
Stay positive. You know what's up. Stay positive. But much love. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been the guest, J to the O to the B to the Y. Catch us just in a few minutes on the Rhythm Scoop Show, and much love.
Much love, guys.
That name shoots Joby. That's a cool name. It sounds better.
Pardon?
It sounds better. I said that name shoots Joby. It's cool. It sounds a whole lot better than our English name, Natalie.
God damn.
Natalie.
Natalie.
Every time, does Joby sound like a Natalie?
Yeah. Apparently, people do think I'm a Natalie. God
She
damn.
does sound like a Natalie. Okay, not Natalie, maybe Natalie.
Yeah, Natalie.
Not Natalie.
That's a cornball cracker from Kansas.
God damn.
Natalie.
Alright, guys.
Hey, Natalie.
Leave me alone.
Thank you so much. See you. Have a great weekend. It was amazing to have you guys over. Remember, it's all about really finding
That ain't even a cool name. It's me, the Natie. Get out of here.